Hi, Beverly Dot, Fair City Knits. This time I'm going to show you how to do the icord edging once you've finished doing the blanket. On mine I chose a contrasting colour, completely different colour to the rest of the blanket. And actually what I did was I went round first and picked up a stitch for every garter ridge that there was on the right side, and then I went along and did the icord, but it turns out it's probably easier for you to pick up a stitch as you go, kind of thing, because it saves you having to have 11 billion stitches on a circular needle all at once. And also when I did it, I didn't do a very good job because my corners flip up, and I've since discovered that there's a way to do this where you don't have flipping up corners. So what I'm going to do is take the little swatch that I did earlier. That's the wrong side, because you can see where you get these little contrast colour bumps, and turn it onto the right side. Hopefully my camera will focus in at some point. I'm going to move this out of the way. There we go. I'm going to cast on 4 stitches. First of all, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's my 4 stitches. Then I'm going to take my miniature temperature blanket, get the working yarn, okay, and then I'm going to insert my needle in that first. I'm doing it along the row at the moment, but you could be doing it along the edge. Insert my needle in there, and then I'm going to pull up, pull up 1 stitch in the new colour. There we go. So that's my new stitch that I've just added on. So I'm going to slide that back to the beginning of the row. This is DPNs, by the way. Sorry, I should have mentioned that to begin with. So we now have 5 stitches on our needle. We are going to knit the first 4. 1, 2. No, we're not going. We're going to knit the first 3. Actually, I lied. So knit the first 3, and then knit the last 2 together. Okay, I want to just tug that tail to keep it nice and taut. So then you're going to insert your needle into the next stitch, wrap the yarn round, pull it through, so you've got 5 stitches on your needle again, slide it back to this end, take your working yarn, not the tail like I was about to do. Where's my working yarn? There it is. Let's put it over this side. There we go. And again we're going to knit 3 and then knit 2 together. 1, 2, 3, and then knit 2 together. Okay, and we're going to pick one up in the next gap, pull the stitch through, slide it along to the end of the needle, and do exactly the same again. Now what I do is, after I've knitted this first stitch and I've inserted the point into the second stitch, I give this a little tug, and you could just see that tighten up a wee bit at the back. Stop you. You don't have to pull it really tight, but just to take up the slack really. 3, 4. Right, now I'm going to disappear and I'll come back again when I've gone all the way along the end of this row. See you in a wee bit. So here we are. We've done I-cord all the way along that top row and we've just come to the corner here. So we're going to insert our needle into that last corner stitch. Oops. And pull the working yarn through. She says. Try again. There we go. Slide it along to the other end of your needle. One, 2, 3, and then the last 2 together. Now, because we don't want the corner to flip up, what we're going to do is we're going to knit a row without picking up a stitch. So it's like a kind of extra row, if you like. So 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, and then we're going to go put our needle back in where we picked up the last one. So essentially we're picking up another stitch through the same hole that we picked up the previous stitch. So you've got like 2 stitches in that corner stitch, and that's what makes sure that your I-cord, when it's all done, will lay nice and flat round the corner, unlike mine, because I didn't do that. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. 3, 4. Now this time you are going down the side of your knitting instead of along the row. You're going down the edge. So you're going to insert your needle into that first stitch, first garter bump, if you like, in the same way, and you're going to carry on down the edge of your knitting in exactly the same way. So you're knitting the first 3 stitches and then you're knitting the last 2 together like that, and then you're picking up the next purl bump, not purl bump, garter bump. And pulling your working yarn through. And so I'm just going to carry on going until I've got to the edge of this, or the end of this side, and then I'll come back and show you the corner. So I'll see you in a wee bit. So I'm back and I've finished, and there it is. There's the corner. It's nice and neat, and it actually looks like a corner. My yarn's quite sticky, so this will block out and look a lot better than it does now. But yeah, you can see the corner where you've got that couple of extra rows in there. It just gives it a little bit more space to bend around that corner, which is what I didn't do with my temperature blanket. And as you can see, my I-cord is kind of bent over. Not that it makes a huge difference, but it's just a different way of doing things. So I hope you've found that useful, and I hope you enjoy knitting your temperature blanket. Tag me in on Instagram, Fair City Knits, or Facebook if you decide to make one. I'd love to see it. Okay, thank you, bye.